let's get into our next trainer. We're gonna go to the Southwest, cowboy country. We're gonna head down to Arizona. We get to hear from another inspiring man who revolutionized his life. He was on the verge of bankruptcy. He was going after it with such fervor and energy, but with zero training, zero skill set, and almost ended up bankrupt, homeless, and by the skin of his teeth, he turned everything around to now. Well, we were on training with him just a few months ago, and he shared how he made a $500,000 profit on one fix and flip. My goodness. He's done over 100 deals. He's on his way to 200 deals. And his lifestyle, when I watch him, like what he does during the summer each year, he lives a whole year in 3 months. That's how much full of life this guy is. And seeing how he treats people, treats his team, his real estate partners and relationships there, it's a gold standard. I mean, the guy is just a professional through and through. And I quite often ask him for advice. So I'm really inspired to see what he's done in his short amount of time. So let's give a big warm welcome to Bill as he comes out and shares his story of vision. Mr. Bill Predebon, come on out. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing really well, man. That was an awesome introduction. Thank you. I got to tell you, Michael, folks on the line here, Michael's a very humble man, and it is an honor, Mike, to share the stage with you and the speakers you've got lined up and everybody else. It's a pleasure, and I'm grateful to be able to share this info with you guys and girls and be here today. So, Mike, thanks a lot. Everybody behind the scenes, thanks for your work, checking people in, getting the flyers out and getting these links out and just giving everybody the opportunity at the end of the year to share in this amazing time. Umair, great job. You're a great friend of mine. It's been great to see him explode, him and his wife, in their business. And so it's a pleasure to hear him speak. So without any further ado, we will move forward, and I hope you guys enjoy this. Love you too, brother. Thank you. All right, so I got to tell you, I agree with the mayor on a couple points. I like the pain idea. Michael was talking about me. I used to played against sports. I was a sports guy my whole life, and I was a pro skier in my 20s in Vail, Colorado, and skied for 10 years out there. Both as an instructor and a racer, and then a pro mogul tour guy. And so I had an opportunity to get into some played against sports stores when I had to get a life and not become a ski bum anymore. Because I tell you, I was broke for 10 years, and we did okay. We got up to 4 stores, Southern California, and I didn't know what I didn't know. I made a lot of mistakes financially. I knew how to run the store. I knew how to sell. I knew sports. I knew. I learned what I needed to learn to help grow the business. But when it came to buying out a couple partners, making some changes with stores, being an anchor in a mall, and changing leases and stuff, I mean, it wasn't rocket science, but I made some mistakes. I overpaid, and I found myself with the economy, and it wasn't the economy's fault, but it played a factor. 2004 in Southern California, and then 5, 6, and 7, and I was broke. I was bankrupt. I was 38. I had no car. My car was repoed 2 days before my wedding. I had no house, so I was living in my girlfriend's house. I had no job, so I made $17,000 the entire year of 2007. I had no retirement. I had no credit. My credit went down because my car was repoed. My house was repossessed, if you want to call it that. It was foreclosed on in California. And I filed bankruptcy on the advice of my attorney because I didn't know what bankruptcy was. And if I had to do it over again, and if you had the opportunity to learn about bankruptcy and take a bankruptcy class, I would recommend it before you ever file. I had options and I didn't know it. And so I had no credit, no money, no job, no income, no car, no house, no credit, no financial means, and no retirement. And so I did have something so I was pretty painful, as you guys see. But there was a point when I was seeing the writing on the wall, and I made a decision. So my first step was to decide to do something different, okay? And then to do something about it. So I always talk about, here's the thing. When we have opportunities and choices all of the time, we tend to wait. I make decisions quickly and then back out of them later if I need to. Okay. So I decided that real estate was going to be it for me. There's a million choices, you guys, that we girls that we have to become rich, right? We can go on the internet, we can start an app, we can go in day trading, forex, blah 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 blah. There's so many choices, right? So choose one, but commit to it. So I committed. This is why I committed to real estate, is because when I learned about real estate, not learned how to do real estate yet, but learned about it, I realized that it had the most chances. Like the most people got rich in real estate, the most people held their money in real estate, held their wealth in real estate. And then I learned why real estate was such a good venue, such a good opportunity versus more specialized training, like being a stockbroker, like being a day trader, getting your chance at an app or something like that, or starting some online business, right? There was far more millionaires in real estate by far. So it seemed easier to me, and I wanted an easier path. And I had no income, no credit, no money, no resources, nothing. Like, I was resourceful, which you're going to need to be, you're going to want to be, but I didn't have them. So I was like, well, if real estate can be done without that stuff, then therefore I'm just going to do that, right? So when I talk to people and I ask questions all the time, write that down. I ask questions all the time with people. How'd you get your car? Where'd you do? What do you do for a living? How do you do that? What do you know, how, right? I was playing golf yesterday morning. It was an amazing day out here. And this guy is almost a scratch golfer, and he's kicking my butt on the golf course. And I'm asking him, how did you just hit that shot? And he's telling me, I don't mind asking people who know more about me. Okay. So first we decide, and then we do. And then I committed. You will have opportunity come to you from all over the world, from all over people, when you're out on Facebook, everything in the world, and you are going to have chances to go in all different directions. But if you've already made a decision to be a real estate investor and a business owner, then those things are not in your list. They're not in your plan. So you can say no to them very quickly. You can make a decision really quickly because you're committed to being a real estate investor. Okay. Now, the other thing I did is I had to invest in myself. And what I mean by that is I had to have skin in the game. Like, I had to make a decision to go up. Like, I had no money, and I found this community, and I found this opportunity to learn. Like, the understand is that we don't know what we don't know. And I just said this, right? So I had already been broke. I already learned how to crash a business. I already learned how to go from making 150,000 a year as a business owner and played against sports and, living my dream, to having nothing, right? So what I didn't know was how to keep it. I didn't know how to own property. I didn't know how to own any business. I didn't know how to run a business and be successful and have a plan. So I had to learn to do this, right? Otherwise, so I had to surround myself with people who knew how to do it. Again, I had to ask. Then I had to make a decision to invest in myself. So with no money and no credit, I had to be resourceful, and I had to make a plan and offer somebody an opportunity to invest in me and give me their money and their credit so that I could go out and make something of myself and then be able to physically pay them back. Not just love money from my mom and dad and be like, hey, I promise I'll pay you back. Hey, can you lend me $100? I got to pay my car payment. I'll pay you next month, and don't do it, right? This is different. I went out and made a decision to get somebody to buy into my program and my plan, and then have them invest in me so I can invest. Now I've got skin in the game. I'm all in. I'm like in trouble. Like, if I don't get this done, then there's a problem. I won't be able to live with myself. So I'm committed, and I'm invested in the plan, in real estate investing, in being a business, in learning how to do it successfully, and surrounding myself with the right people. So I've made this decision, and then I've obviously basically committed myself to the point where I cannot fail. There is no plan B. All right. Next, I had to share it. I had to humble myself and be embarrassed and be a fool and be but broke, right? And then go to someone like my buddy Matt Prowse. My buddy Matt Prowse in Colorado, who who worked for me at one point and was an incredible skier. His dad owns CompuWare software. Was in the late 2000s, was the 91st richest man in America. And I call up Matt in 2011. I'm like, bro, I'm in real estate. I'm going to buy in these houses. I'm flipping houses. I want some money. We're going to make money. And he's like, are you kidding me? Right? And I had to, I'm like, and he shut me down so fast. It's like, dude, I've got 3 houses. I don't need this. I'm not taking the risk. Don't you see around you? The world's crashing, you know? And I'm like, oh, right. Then I had to go to my dad and like tell my dad, hey, by the way, this is what I'm doing with the rest of my life. Right. And then I had to tell my wife, right, who's busting her butt. We're broke as heck. I made all these mistakes. All this income is nothing's coming in. And I'm out there every day working 20 hours a day trying to do this real estate, right? And I'll talk about that before we finish. And I'm telling her, and she had to be on board, right? And I had to be committed to, and I also had to show her that I was willing to work, and I had to show her that I'm willing to bring in money. And the minute I get money, you know, I drove a Bondoed VW that was her old car because she bought a new car because she had credit and money and a job and sold her business and she made money on it and all these things. And I'm constantly borrowing money from her just to pay my bills. And so whenever I made money, I had to give it to her, right? And I wasn't out spending any money. I lived very modestly. I wasn't partying, all those things. There was all these sacrifices that I was willing to make, right? Because everybody's in, and I had to let everybody know what I'm doing, right? And where I'm at. So I'm sharing this information and I'm letting people know what I'm doing. Finally, again, the commitment is the whole thing. I'm committed and I'm learning, right? And then I'm doing what I'm learning, and I'm willing, and I love what Umair said, right? Is that you need a coach. Where's his notes? He said, you need a coach, you need a business vision, you need education, right? And then you need to take action steps. A lot of us are planners and we are explainers but we're not doers. And so there's got to be these action steps that we take. So I was constantly taking action steps to make sure I was do it and then learn from it, right? And so people that when I had no money, I still put money out on a credit card that I was working on getting because I was constantly building my credit no matter what you're doing, right? I'm still building my credit to this day. And I borrowed money when I had no money and no ways of paying it back so that I could get personal development. And so I could get further education. When opportunities in this community came up for me to invest more in myself, I did it when I didn't have it. Like when I could have been like, oh, I'm going to wait till a deal closes. No, I never waited for anything to happen because I figured the only way to get out of my situation was make more money, was to make money. So I didn't care about borrowing money. I knew, and I'm not talking about reckless borrowing. I'm talking about businesses we are a business. You're deciding to be a business. You're deciding to make plans and have a business plan. And if you're creating an income opportunity for yourself. So you are selling, like Umair said, if we can't qualify at a bank, we got to qualify with private investors. We got to qualify with our family members. We got to qualify with other people and let them get invested in us and get on board with what we're doing and get on board with our vision and get on board with our passion, right? And so then they're going to want, like, if we sell anybody on anything and sell them on ourselves, they're going to want to get behind us and get people enrolled in us and what you're doing, what you want to do. Get people enrolled in your vision. And then they will invest with you. And that's what banks do. Banks get enrolled with business people. They get enrolled. That's why they give them money. And the only way businesses survive and pass and grow is through resources. And they get resources and money and they get loans. And that's how they survive. And then we can pay it back because we start to make more money. It's that way in business. Businesses don't go out and sell a bunch of product and then go borrow money. They go borrow money, manufacture the product, then go sell it with a plan. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's incredible. So lastly, and last few things is I'm always in control. I want to stay in my lane. I don't mean that I don't go invest in different houses or bigger deals and things like that, but they're all within real estate, right? I control the money. I control the decision-making. Finally, all of these things we cannot do this alone. You will want to. I tried and I did it for years and I did it slowly and I did it hard and I did it the wrong way. Even when I had the right education, even when I was in the right group, I am by myself and we don't go in business by ourselves. We go in business for ourselves, as you all know, and our families and our spouses and our families and our friends, but we do not go in business by ourselves. And so the quicker we can learn, and I'm still learning this, The quicker I can have coaches, the more coaches I have, the more people I can do business with and surround myself with and learn from, and like literally get my ego out of the freaking way and like listen to Umair and listen to Jared Brenchley and respect a 20-year-old younger kid than me, Michael Huggins, and watch what he does and actually learn. The faster you can do whatever it is you want to do, and we go in business together and we work together and we learn from each other. And you've got to surround. I tell you, Cody Sperber, the guys that are up here where I'm with, guys like Kent Clother, who I started a company with, these people that just make $100 million in a day, they are surrounded by all kinds of great people. They're not just these lone rangers, and yet I'm all by myself, right? So we surround ourselves with people and we control our decisions. We stay in our lane. We constantly, every day, I make decisions every single day that are out of my realm. And then if I need to back out, I back out later. But I always say yes to the decisions, and I make them quickly, yes or no. And then I back out slowly. And with that, Michael, I'll leave it over to you. I think that's about my time. I'm sure you have a few questions, but yeah,
Solid.
folks, it's that's it for me. Those are my steps.
Okay, well said. Make the decisions. No hesitation. If you need to change, you can change. But the key, what I'm hearing from Bill, is decide, decide, decide.
And commit. Once you decide, commit to it, stick to it, you guys, and get invested, get involved in it. And I want to say this, you guys and girls, and it's important. And no matter if you've made the mistake before or whatever, but it's not burning all the bridges where you have no other option and you've literally like quit your job, or you've just isolated everybody from you and your family and you're just on your own. You want to get everybody enrolled, and if it part of that takes you working part-time or doing something that brings in a little income, then so be it. It doesn't mean it's forever. It's literally temporary. Being broke is temporary. Having to have a job is temporary. All those things, it's all part of the process and the plan, and we run with the process. But we want to enroll people, and we don't want to isolate ourselves from our people. Otherwise, we will end up divorced. We will end up by ourselves. We will end up, extradited from the family and things like that. And that's not our plan. Our plan is to bring our families together. All right.
Yeah, exactly. It's that have it all lifestyle that we talked about, right? Faith, family, fitness, finance, fun. Putting it all together. And Bill, you are a great example of that. And so even though you were broke, destitute, embarrassed, all those things, what's something about the vision technique? I mean, I guess what you were saying is it's that decision, and I guess having that image of the life you're going to have. Because ever since I've known you, you've always driven nice cars, you wear nice clothes, you do fun stuff. But when you were broke, what was the thing that in the vision realm that did it for you?
So, and you mentioned this a lot in your trainings, and the only thing is that, and I'm not a vision board type person. I've actually never made one. In fact, if you look in my office, I probably have 4 different vision boards I was going to do, and I never did them. I got really nice ones from Amazon, and I got to put them, they're like, you put them up on the wall. But I have a belief. The belief is that I can do it, and that I want it, and that's what I desire, right? I have this desire and this belief in myself. So I just believe that it to be true. I believe that I want to dress nice. I believe that I want to live till I'm 100, right? I believe in working out. I believe in the things that I can do. I immediately, when I started to study whatever the people that were above me telling me, I just believed them, and I listened to what they told me to do, and then I did it, knowing that if they did this and that's what happened, then I can do this, and this is what's going to happen. And that belief has been true. When I followed these processes and these steps, things have started to come around. When I wear the part, when I play the part and wear the clothes and drive the car, I didn't drive a nice car for a long time, but there was a time when I got to buy a car. I bought a really nice Mercedes for $15,000. Nobody knew it was $15,000, and then I put some nice wheels on it, and it was cool. It made me feel better about myself, even though it was a piece of crap Mercedes, right? Nobody really knew that. It just looked really shiny on the outside. So, it's all about belief. It's just believing whatever you're committed to and what you've decided to do, it will work. And if it doesn't, it's not a big deal. If you fail, it doesn't matter. If you owe people money, I don't mean irresponsibly, but that's part of it. It's okay.
Nice. Just decide, commit. There is no plan B, and believe. Excellent. Well, folks, if you want to hear more from Bill, he does a training for us every single week, live Q&A, no holds barred. That guy will just tell you how it is. You need a person like Bill in your world. And for those of you who are already a member, you'll participate in those. And those of you who are considering it, get back with your host, get a strategy session scheduled, and let's show you how you can get the benefits of our program just like Bill's getting. So thank you, Bill.